Greetings. Today we will consider the fifth installment, the final installment of Daniel's explanation of truth, part 4. Daniel 11:33 literally says, "And the discerning ones of the people, they shall comprehend with respect to many things, and they shall suffer by means of a sword, and by means of a fire, and by means of a captivity, and by means of a dividing of spoils after conquering." This word is not used in the New Testament. It is used in the Septuagint to translate the Hebrew word that means the spoil taken by the conqueror of another. It is the compounding of a regular Greek word, which means to plunder as a pirate, prefixed with the regular preposition dia, which means to divide into two parts, thus meaning to divide the spoils taken after conquering. Many people understood their alliance was still to obey God, as Daniel and his confederates earlier in the book. Instead of submitting to the forced worship of the Greek idols, even under the threat and enforcement of the death penalty. Epiphanes' men would search for them keeping the Sabbath day and kill them upon that day, knowing that the Jews would not fight back upon the Sabbath day. They would find them in caves hiding and roast them alive by fire. Various forms of death are listed. The sword, fire, the captivity, deprivation were all administered upon these people. Many days was about 300 years historically and foreshadowing of a future period. Daniel 11:34 literally says then, as we conclude, "And by means of particular suffering to them, they shall be given aid, a small amount of aid, and they shall be provided for them many ones by means of a fall or slip." The phrase, "they shall be helped with a small amount of aid," means that the period of resistance would be short-lived, by means or because of a fall or slip. So we must understand the submission of Epiphanes to the decree of Rome at Alexandria was effectively the beginning of the transition from the third, the Greek Empire, to the fourth empire, the Roman Empire. And although he was to remain in power long enough to inflict harm upon the Jewish people, very soon Rome would conquer the Greek Empire completely. We find a small phrase in Daniel 11:27 that said, "For yet the end shall be at the appointed time." The rebellion of the Maccabees and those who would fluctuate in supporting and abandoning them could not be duratively successful because it was not God's appointed time for the 70 weeks to be ended. It is a historical fact that from that day till now, Israel has been subjected to foreign powers, which have not allowed them to be fully free and able to practice their religion as God declared. Although in Jesus' day there was worship in the temple at Jerusalem, the New Testament makes it clear that it was tainted by those who were still vested in flatteries, the promised power for allegiance to the foreign reigning powers. And as we will see, the Jewish people still must finish their 70th week, which they owe God during the tribulation following the rapture. Then they will be given the freedom which they forfeited through disobedience.